This is Warrior Wednesday. We have a lot to discuss, so let's get to it. First of all, we just came through September 11th. I want to mention this because it is a horrible day. I'm a New Yorker. I took it very hard this year. I don't know why specifically, except I think watching everything that's going on in the United States and destruction, unnecessary destruction, unraveling right in front of us. I think it made me dig a little deeper, be more introspective, more reflective on certain things. Certainly, seeing what's going on with our children and how things are only escalating and getting worse, not getting any better. I do, though, want to share that I think it would be a great idea if we made 9/11 a day of service, but really enforced it. I know there's talk of it, some people do it, but really made the children understand, because I don't think they're being taught anything about the history of 9/11 in school. And that is not to be putting fear in children. That is part of our American history, and that is sorely slipping away. So I think it has to be dealt with, and I think we have to acknowledge it. And I think we could all do something in remembrance of that day. Actually, going forward next year, the Warriors will have an initiative on 9/11 that everyone can participate in. With this being said, I'm very happy to report that Tim Ballard, who started Operation Underground Railroad and also was the impetus for the push for the movie Sound of Freedom, based loosely on his life. It's not the exact way his life went down. Hollywood movie, everybody. Everybody should relax, because we know there were a lot of critics, but we'll leave that for a minute. And also Senator Chris Smith from New Jersey introduced a bill in Congress. Finally, somebody's addressing this. And I want to get this right about you guessed it, where are the 85,000 kids? Representative Chris Smith, Tim Ballard, the former Homeland Security agent and undercover operative whose experience rescuing child sex trafficking victims inspired the film Sound of Freedom, along with Representative Chris Smith, New Jersey, yesterday, demanding, we need demanding now. We must. The Biden administration find the estimated 85,000 unaccompanied minors who crossed the southern border and remain unaccounted for. Now, that 85,000 number is from last February. Here we are, almost halfway through September, so you can bet that the numbers are a lot higher. So they held a press conference yesterday, and it is called Safeguarding Endangered Children Unaccompanied and At-Risk Exploitation Act of 2023, or the Secure Act. A great move. We have to start asking, we have to start getting answers, and we do have to start demanding. So I want to fill you in about that. That is a great move. The next move is, there's still time. Newsletter going out for the Warriors, lynswarriors.org, will be tomorrow morning. And just go to the website, scroll down, e-newsletter, sign up, start taking action. I want to talk about Pornhub. I have not spoken about it in a while because there was a lot of, starting in 2020, going after Pornhub, shutting down Pornhub, and rightfully so. And because now, let's separate it out, give you a little context here. It is about the protection of children. We don't want children's rapes uploaded to Pornhub. That is what I'm talking about. Pornhub, the biggest site in the world, also controlling their parent company, MindGeek, 100 other porn sites. But Pornhub is the one everybody knows. It's promoted. Influencers, celebrities get involved with it. And in 2020, MasterCard and Visa did shut down processing payments. So that was a great step forward. And there were hearings about it, all kinds of things going on. But just today, a story broke that I want to get this correct for you as well. Excuse the voice. The voice is a little bit rough the last few days. Let's see. This is a former Miss Teen. It's funny because I put this on my Twitter, and call me wacky. I think sometimes the stories just disappear. They just get knocked off. But I put a trigger warning. I don't even like the word trigger, but that's the word everybody uses to alert you, high alert, that something in this posting may cause you angst, may cause you anxiety, or maybe you just don't want to go there. Okay. But I put it, something I usually don't do, but a former Miss Teen Colorado runner up has sued Pornhub after saying she was sex trafficked and raped by a notorious porn producer who was also on FBI most wanted fugitive list. Christy Althouse, whose life and career was ruined when Girls Do Porn released the X-rated video. Her story is, according to her, she was drunk on drugs with this man, and basically she was out of her mind. And he filmed her, whether she was aware, unaware. But what he did do, unaware to her, is post. He promised he wouldn't post the video when she found out there was a video. And of course he did. Now we know once these videos go up, it is nearly impossible to get them taken down. Remember, people will share it. We'll steal it. We'll hack it. We'll put it on other porn sites. Remember, Pornhub, 100 different, excuse me, everybody, as the voice is really going. As Pornhub, the parent company MindGeek, let me remind you again, 100 different porn sites. Why anything, she was a minor at the time. Why anything with minors? I have to double check that. I want to make sure I give you the right information. I think she might have been 18 at the time. But of course, Twitter is deleting, as I sit here, this that I'm posting. So let's just leave it for a minute. Let's focus on the kids. Anything on any of these sites with a minor is against the law. There are already laws in place for all of this. Why is it so tough? I keep asking the same question. Why is it so tough to get videos of child rape taken down off of any of these sites, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it, any of the platforms you are on or your children are on, you can find this material. It is escalating. Last year alone, 32 million reports to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in Washington, D.C. reported 32 million. 32 million. We know the numbers, what do I always tell you, are higher. That's what we know about. There's so much shame around this subject matter. But in the meantime, predators are winning. So we have to keep an eye on a lot of things. I also recommend to you every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, Lynn's Warriors on TNT Radio, where I bring on expert guests. We discuss resources. We discuss takeaways, things to help you. I already told you about the newsletter. Please sign up, lynswarriors.org. Understand that our vulnerable children are being sucked in, and don't even know what they're getting involved in. And also, we have a very well documented youth mental health crisis. Kids are looking for love. All people are. Attention, clicks, likes, whatever you want to call it. So if they meet somebody online and they start talking to them and they get the compliments, they're told they're pretty, they easily, I will say again, get sucked in. And this is what's happening. And the next step is take off your top, and you know the rest. And it goes from there. Despite what I call a lot now of talk about this subject matter, despite many groups and organizations working very hard, it is not being curbed. Right now in Congress, and they just came back to work after their summer recess, this week, we have 6 bipartisan bills sitting on the floor, waiting to go to vote. We need to figure out a way to keep kids safe online. This is not the argument we always hear, which is this is an attack on our privacy, on our freedoms, freedom of speech. What about the children? What about the rape videos of babies, if I may be so blunt? Where is their privacy? Where is their freedom? And who's bringing these babies and offering these babies and having these babies? You have to dig deeper. I tell you this not to shock you. I tell you this because this is a new country we live in. This is a new world. We at the Warriors are focused right here in the United States because this is going on in every town, city, and rural area across America. No one is exempt. You don't want your children on Pornhub. There are many videos of children, underage, minor. It's very redundant, everything I'm saying, minor, child, underage. Pornhub, well, they have some undercover tapes of people talking. Discussions, I should say, tapes. I'm dating myself a little bit, but discussions recorded where, because they blur the faces of children, they're getting away with it. There's a lot of loopholes. And law enforcement knows about this. Law enforcement hands are tied. We need a two-prong approach. We need you to become a warrior in your community, in your home. Talk to your children about the dangers. You have to do it. But first, you got to know the information. Second, we'll do the heavy lifting for you. Legislation in Washington. They have to step up, both parties, both sides, everybody, and protect our precious children. Because when I tell you there's a war on for our children, I truly mean there is a war on for our children. So these are some things I want you to start working on this week, the month of September. Time is flying by, warriors. We don't have the luxury to wait anymore. We have to educate ourselves. We have to take action. Nobody's coming to save us. We have to continue with the warriors working on legislation. When we have things for you to sign on to, see, that is where you can help. House.gov, Senate.gov, I tell you this all the time. Know who represents you. Shoot off an email. I put it all on the website. Go to the Take Action tab. We cannot allow this sexualization of our children, this normalization that's occurring. I see it right in front of me, every day getting worse and worse. Finally, somebody's asking, where did these kids go who came over the border? In February. How many more came over since then? Nobody is closing these borders. Nobody is stopping this mass illegal alien invasion of our country. And I'm in New York City, and I have seen such a vast difference, I want to say, in the last couple of weeks. I mean, after all, today, excuse me, I left very early this morning for an appointment, and these bicycles, every which way, they're mopeds, they're motorcycles, they're electric bicycles, and I'm an experienced New York walker, and I have to tell you, one guy yelled out at me, and he looked at me like, ha, ha, ha. I'm going to clean this up a little bit from the way I would think of it to myself. I'm in your country. Look at all I'm getting, kind of that kind of feeling, the way he stared at me. I'd say some of them are delivering food, and they probably are, but a lot of them, they're on motorcycles and mopeds. They're not delivering anything. They're just driving wild up and down the streets. I'm tired of it, but I'm not leaving my city. Why should I leave and they're allowed to be here? Be safe. Be aware. Talk to your kids. September, I want to leave you with this, is National Suicide Prevention Month. 988 is the 3-digit code. If you just want to get some information, or you're in crisis, or your loved one, your child, 988. Like we have 911, we have 988. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They will connect you to local resources. You need to take advantage. You need to talk to your children. You need to listen. But not only that, then you need to take action. You cannot be like countless parents that have said, my child had dinner, seemed fine, sent them to bed. They just were not there in the morning. Kids are suffering. So we got to put our warrior wings on. We have to toughen up. Don't let all this noise and distraction, this media madness, block it all out. Listen to the warriors. Listen to others who give you truth, not propaganda. Dig a little deeper. You're going to have to these days. Take action. Be a community participant. Make sure you're on top of this Suicide Prevention Month. You can talk about it. You can post things online that would be helpful. Lynn's Warriors, Twitter and Facebook every day. Just share my postings. Get involved in your children's schools. Grandparents can get involved too. Go to those Board of Ed meetings. Make the time. I see a drastic shift in this country. I know you do too. We cannot allow it. We just came through the Day of Remembrance, the anniversary, 22nd year of 9/11. We're sitting on a tinderbox. Now we have to deal with things like Pornhub, and our kids, their faces might be on there, their bodies might be on there. Predators. on every site. And we're not giving our internet back. We're all online, so we have to leverage it for good. Think about all these things. Always write to me, Lynn at lynswarriors.org. Stay tuned. We have some events coming up October 18th here in New York City. We're having an evening with my good friend Jason Jones, who is from Texas Border Patrol, just works day and night on the border. It is not even an issue of open borders, people coming, separate that for a minute. We are now sitting, this is a national security risk. We don't know who's coming over. We don't know the gotaways. New York City claims we get 10,000 a month. I dare say it's more. Remember, the figures are always lower. Kiss your children, protect each other, open and honest communication. Remember this each and every day. And always, community creates change. Go out and be a warrior.